Now I want to zoom out and return to something that's really important from both a meta level and a granular level. This is really important from a meta level and a granular level. And that's, why are we doing this? Why are we going? Why are we talking about all this? What's the point of these checklists? What's the point of streamlining this process? What's the point of inventorying what brings joy and what doesn't bring joy? Because we want to contain this and efficientize it. Why do we want to contain this, and why do we want to efficientize it? So that we can live life. So that we can do other things. So that we can really focus on things that we really want to focus on. Part of what we want to focus on is the making, right? Which is why we want to be able to streamline any making process into, okay, anything that I've made, the expert can get out there in an hour and a half. And anything that I've made, the master can get out there in an hour. But why? Why does it matter? Let's just look at the expert level. Forget about master. Let's just look at the expert level. If you were able to, over the course of, if we do the math, 2 hours a day, 8 out of 10 days, 2 hours a day, 8 out of 10 days. So that's 24 hours. No, sorry, 2 hours a day out of 8 out of every 10 days. That's 16 hours. That's 48 hours a month. 48 hours a month. Now, I want you to imagine this. If you were going to commit 48 hours a month, which is 2 days a month, 48 hours a month. If we average that out over the course of days, that is basically a little more than 1.5 hours a day. 48 hours a month. Most people work a 40-hour work week. So you're talking about, are you willing to work a 48-hour work month? Are you willing to do a 48-hour work month? To distribute 24 products. $240 micro products. Across 8 channels. You're reaching out to people on 8 channels. So if we do the math on that, what's 8 times 240? 8 times 240 is 1,920. And it even goes beyond that, right? Because, it goes beyond that because of the audio. So that, to me, feels like a worthwhile venture. That feels worthwhile to me. And if we look at those numbers again, 48 hours a month is 12 hours a week. And that's including, not to mention that 40, let's just be clear, that 48 hours a month includes 12 hours of iterative work, of meta work, of higher level work, of zoomed out work. Oh my goodness. What a cozy buddy. What a cozy buddy. What a cozy buddy. Yeah, cozy buddy buddy. So it's not even, yeah, I mean, let's be more honest about it. That's 24 hours of 24 hours of the more creative stuff a month, 12 hours of the more bureaucratic stuff a month, and 12 hours of the iterative, introspective, incremental 1% improvement kind of work. And if you look at it from an enjoyment standpoint, you enjoy the meta level where meta meets granular. For the most part, you enjoy the granular of the creative and the making. The only part you don't really enjoy is the bureaucratic, but you know how powerful the bureaucratic can be. So it seems like it's a no-brainer to lock this in. And why are you wanting to lock it in? Is because 48 hours a month, 48 hours a month is, oh my goodness, such a hefty buddy. 48 hours a month from a fractional standpoint is what? It's 1/15 of your month. It's 1/15. 1/15 of the month. So are you willing to work 1/15 of the month so that the other 14 hours you can focus on other things that you want or need to focus on? That feels fair to me. That feels fair because there's a lot you want to do. You want to sleep. You want to get good sleep. You want to get good exercise. You want to work on other creative projects. You want to work on other business projects. You want to connect with people. You want to exercise. You want to read. You want to write. There's so many things that you want to do outside of this context. But this context will set a baseline for inevitable success that is unlike any I've ever heard of. And if you've heard of one that's better, please tell me, because I would love one that's better. It would be nice if someone just handed one over and I could just use theirs instead of, I'd rather use a wheel than feel like I have to reinvent the wheel. But in the process of reinventing the wheel, this is a pretty cool wheel. And yeah, so given that it's 1/15 of the month and is from a waking hour standpoint, I'd have to do the math, but it's probably something more like 1/10 of waking hours. If it's 1/15 of all hours, it's probably 1/10 of waking hours, and that feels like a good amount to invest in this process. 1/10 of waking hours, and 1/10 of waking hours is, yeah, essentially if I'm awake 16 hours a day, what I'm saying is I'm going to give 1.6 hours on average to this over the course of the entire month.